Let's be honest, if you love thick, rich Greek yogurt, you know exactly how expensive it gets at the grocery store. Well, welcome to today's explainer. We're going to completely transform how you look at the dairy aisle by breaking down a foolproof method from Khmer's Kitcher. We are going step by step through the source material to show you exactly how to get those premium results right in your own kitchen.
And we are diving right in with a massive claim from our source. The promise here is that once you try this method, you'll be abandoning those store-bought tubs forever. Now, I know, that's a pretty bold statement, but honestly, the simplicity and the quality of what you get make a really compelling case for never, ever going back to the store for yogurt.
Here's our agenda for today. First, ditching store-bought yogurt. Second, the 2 simple ingredients you need. Third, the heating and cooling phase. Fourth, the fermentation process. Fifth, straining for that Greek thickness. And finally, the sustainable yogurt loop. Section 1. Ditch store-bought yogurt. No special tools needed. So the biggest myth we're busting right off the bat is that you need specialized, expensive equipment to make dairy products at home. You absolutely do not need an electric yogurt maker. As our source proves, you literally just need a heavy-bottom pot to heat your milk and an oven that is turned completely off to incubate it. That's the whole shebang. Basic kitchen supplies you probably already have are going to yield incredibly thick, premium results.
Moving on to Section 2. Just 2 simple ingredients. Getting back to basics.
You really only need 2 things. First, half a gallon of whole milk. The source strongly recommends whole milk because that fat content is exactly what creates that rich taste and helps it come out thick. And second, an active yogurt starter. You just need 4 tablespoons of your favorite store-bought brand. The trick here is to choose a brand whose flavor and thickness you already love and just make sure it has active bacteria. That 1 little cup from the store is going to birth your entire homemade batch.
Section 3. The heating and cooling phase. Temperature milestones.
Okay, so you start by adding that half gallon of whole milk to your heavy bottom pot, slowly turn the heat up to medium, and stir continuously, so the milk doesn't burn on the bottom. Your first major milestone, bringing that milk up to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. According to our source, this usually takes right around 10 minutes of active standing and stirring.
Now, this brilliantly illustrates our Mythbuster approach for today. While you absolutely can use a meat thermometer to confirm you hit 180 degrees, you really don't have to. For generations, people made yogurt without digital thermometers. Just watch for a light boil and little bubbles forming around the edge of the pot. Once you see those specific little bubbles, boom, you've hit your temperature. But wait, here is the ultimate shortcut. If you happen to be using organic milk that's ultra-pasteurized, you actually get to skip that 180-degree boiling step entirely. Why? Because that pasteurization work was already done at the dairy plant. So if you've got ultra-pasteurized milk, you just heat it to our next crucial milestone, which is 120 degrees. Now, if you're using regular milk, after hitting that bubbling 180-degree mark, you've got to cool it down. You can use an ice bath, or honestly, just run a little cool water over the outside of the pot and let it sit uncovered. Your goal is to drop it down to exactly 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, and while it cools, it's a great idea to skim off any film or scum from the top, since it really doesn't give a great flavor to the final yogurt. And again, no thermometer, no problem at all. You can test the temperature exactly like you would a baby bottle. Just dab a little bit on your wrist. It should feel comfortably lukewarm. The source emphasizes that this is absolutely critical. The bacteria need that perfect lukewarm environment to multiply. If it's too hot, it'll literally kill off all your beneficial bacteria. Section 4, the fermentation process. Let the bacteria work. This is where the magic happens, getting that bacteria into the milk effectively. You take those 4 tablespoons of yogurt starter and mix them with a few ladles of warm milk in a small bowl first. This tempers the yogurt so it distributes evenly when you pour it back into the main pot. Give it a good mix, cover the pot, and then wrap it in tea towels to hold in that perfect 120-degree heat. Finally, place it in an oven that is completely turned off. The source is super clear on this. Do not turn the oven on. Don't even leave the oven light on, or you might blow the bulb. Just leave it entirely undisturbed in the dark for 8 to 10 hours so the bacteria can do its thing. Section 5. Straining for Greek thickness. Achieving baby-got-back texture. Okay, so after 8 to 10 hours, you technically have yogurt, but we want that premium Greek style. Straight out of the oven, it might be a little loose. To fix that, just place a regular colander over a large bowl. Line the colander with a flour sack towel or cheesecloth, pour your freshly fermented yogurt right in, and pop the whole setup into the fridge to strain. It turns out, time is basically your best tool here. Strain it for 2 hours, and you get a thinner, looser, everyday yogurt. But let it strain for 4 hours, you separate out so much liquid that you get this incredible thickness. Our source hilariously describes this 4-hour mark as having a baby got back texture. It is literally so thick it won't even fall off the spoon if you turn it upside down.
When you break down the whole timeline, making homemade yogurt is truly just a waiting game. You're looking at 10 minutes of active prep on the stove, then 8 to 10 hours of hands-off fermenting while you sleep or go to work, and finally 2 to 4 hours of passive chilling in the fridge. That effort-to-reward ratio is absolutely fantastic.
Section 6, the sustainable yogurt loop, zero waste magic.
So what happens to all that yellowish liquid that drained into the bowl? That's called whey. It's essentially what gives regular yogurt its runny consistency. But just because we took it out of our Greek yogurt definitely doesn't mean it's garbage. In fact, whey is packed with nutrients, and it's your secret weapon for creating a zero-waste cycle in your kitchen. Here is what you can do with it. First off, if you accidentally strained your yogurt too long and it's just too thick, just whisk a little whey back in to loosen it up. Otherwise, save it in a mason jar in the fridge. You can use it as a nutrient-packed liquid base for smoothies, mix it into homemade bread dough, or, as our source notes, even use a little bit as a natural preservative to make homemade mayonnaise last longer. Pretty cool, right? And this brings us to the single most crucial point for sustaining this whole loop. Always save a couple of tablespoons of your fresh batch of yogurt. Why? Because that becomes the starter for your very next batch. Just keep it in a little container in the fridge, and next week when you buy more milk, you use your own yogurt to kickstart the process. That's exactly how you achieve that massive claim from the beginning. You will literally never have to buy store-bought yogurt again. You now have the complete myth-busting playbook to create premium, thick Greek yogurt at home. You know the temperatures, the visual cues, and exactly how to strain it using nothing but time and basic kitchen tools. So here's my question for you. Knowing how incredibly simple this really is, are you ready to heat up that pot and start your own sustainable yogurt loop? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.